Thanks to the support as a channel member, Dan Miles. Well, if you'd have told me at the end of last season that the only player surviving from last year's team for our first day in the National League was Ellis Deeney, I'd have thought you were bonkers. Hello and welcome to part 11 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode with our first two games in the National League. We're away against newly promoted Eastbourne and at home against Wealdstone. Are Wealdstone newly promoted as well? What league are Wealdstone in? No, but they are relegation favourites. Ultimately, if we're going to stay up, we've got to win both of these games. They're both favourites for relegation. We can't afford to start slow. And unfortunately, with poor team cohesion, we might do exactly that because we did a lot of transfers. This is a very new look team. If you missed the transfer video yesterday, you need to go back and watch it because you won't recognise anybody in our starting 11. Apart from Ellis Deeney, he was here at the end of last season, didn't actually start a game for us. This is going to be his first start for the club. And it's in the league above, the one that he signed for us in. He's playing because Cameron Antwi, who's only just signed, is nowhere near match fit, so we're giving him a little bit longer to get match fit. But the rest of the 11 is pretty much what I consider at the moment my best 11. We've got Rose in goal, a back four of Clayton, Brown, Kakuri and Sears, Deeney and Brook in midfield, Leahy, Berry and Akamrich supporting Evans up front. All eyes on Connor Evans today, by the way, because remember, this guy got 25 goals in the league below last year, the league we were in last year, against defenders like the ones that are going to be playing for Eastbourne today. So he should have some fun. But a lot of it is going to come down to how this team clicks, and I have absolutely no idea. Most of them had never met each other a month ago, so this could be an absolute disaster. And it's probably unfortunate that we're playing against the teams who are likely to be around us towards the bottom at the start of the season when we've not really clicked. We could do with playing the likes of Eastbourne and Wealdstone 10, 12 games in when we've got a little bit of team cohesion. These guys are used to playing with each other, because if it doesn't go well today, the season's only getting harder from these two matches. These are two of our easiest games we're going to have all year. So if it doesn't go well today, yikes. But there is Kakuri playing it forward, looking for Akramich. We're going to learn to say that guy's name because I think he's going to be a superstar for us. So we've got to learn to get his name right. But for now, we're just getting used to everybody. It's all going to take a lot of getting used to. I don't even know how good we're going to be at set pieces this year. We were obviously very good at them last year, but we don't have Cullinane Liebird anymore. So who's going to step forward and be our set piece superstar now? Leahy plays it into Clayton, who's there on the overlap. I'm looking for a lot from Clayton this year. He is a very attacking left back, and you can see on the overlap the damage he can cause there. Drills it across goal, and there is Evans with his first goal of the new campaign, hopefully the first of many. We are pinning a lot of hopes on a striker on loan who's never played at this level, but that's Lee stepping in field there, dragging his fullback with him, creating a huge amount of space for Clayton, and that's exactly what we want this tactic to do. We've got Leahy on the cut inside from the wing instruction, so he's starting wide and then coming in, hopefully bringing the fullback with him, and then Clayton is on an attacking mentality behind him and should come overlapping him and fill that space that Leahy's going to create for him, and that I expect to be a huge route to goal for us. Akamrich on the right hand side is a striker playing on the right wing, so theoretically should be a good finisher. So it's very much the plan is create space for Clayton, get him in a crossing position, get the ball into the area for Evans and Akamrich to finish, and then everyone else is just there to defend. If it works that way, super duper. If not, we'll come up with a new plan, but this is definitely the plan currently. It falls to Brook, and Brook shoots from range, but it goes just over. But 1-0 up after half an hour. We take this. We'll have the final whistle now, please, referee. We want points on the board. Berry's taking the free kick, shoots from range, but he can't keep his effort down. He's had a couple of involvements in the attacks early on, playing in a slightly different role to what Shakuna was doing last year. He's not really suited to the shadow striker. Oh my word. I said expect goals from Akamrich. He nearly scored a banana shot. It seemed to bend both ways there. He hit it so hard, he almost turned the ball inside out. We've got a throw now with Sears. Evans plays it into Akamrich, and now Brook back into Berry. Berry's got a huge amount of space, and Adam Berry has his first goal for the club as well. And so far, So good. We are starting well, which, might I remind you, we must do if we're going to stay up this year, because these are our easiest games of the season. But nothing helps team cohesion like a couple of wins. So if we can pick up a couple of good results here to start the season off, that can only be a good thing for us. Berry's been very, very good on an 8.2 so far, playing in that role for us for the first time. I mean, everybody's on their debut, apart from Deeney. Deeney had those couple of games at the end of last season, but everyone else on debut today. And nobody really letting us down so far. I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do with Sears against better teams in particular. I am tempted to make him that inverted fullback and have him form a 3 when Clayton's bombing off forward. It's kind of what Sears wants to do anyway. So we might end up doing that. I made a video about tactics earlier in the week. That's the kind of tweak that I was talking about in that video, where we start the season with a plan. This is the plan, and we'll tweak the plan as we go. But at the moment, plan A seems to be working, so no reason to do much in the way of tweaking. Today, crossing from Clayton again, looking for Evans. He couldn't quite get to that one, but we've got ourselves another corner. And I am still looking for someone to step up and become our set-piece master. Clayton floats it over to that near post, looking for a Camrich, but his header is poor, and it ends up going wide behind the goal there. But I mean, look at our XG. Have a good look. Our XG is lovely. This is far better than I could have hoped for today. We don't have masses on the bench. We have quite a small squad. 21 players, including Van Kooten. 22 if you call Rob Harley up from the under-19s, where he's gone back to hang out because he is only 16 and not going to be starting, so he may as well get regular football in the under-19s. If we need him, we can draft him in, but he does make it 22. That's poor from Rose. Rose is the highest paid player at the club. We are looking for stability and excellent goalkeeping from him, and we certainly didn't get it there, did we? They've got in behind us. They've got in behind Sears, who, this is what I mean about maybe he's a little bit too far forward, because they've got in behind him there, whereas if we were playing him on a more defensive instruction, they don't get behind him there, and that's not a goal. So possibly a tweak incoming. Leahy's tiring though, so we can bring on Shakuna. Berry can go out onto the left-hand side, where he can just do the same role. He's a right footer on the left-hand side, wants to be an inverted winger or a winger, so he can stay on the winger instruction, still have that cut inside instruction, and Shakuna can go back. And I mean, apparently what he does best isn't being a shadow striker anymore, which is interesting. I wonder if that's why he went off the boil towards the end of last season. There's every chance that when that game update came out, it nerfed him as a shadow striker. Maybe we do try him in the same role Berry was in. We might get Shakuna back, because I've missed him. He was awesome for us early on and just hasn't really been since. Ryan Sears is tired. We're going to bring Kingdon on, and with him coming on as a centre-back playing out there, we are going to make that switch to having him as an inverted fullback. So we now effectively have a back 3 when Clayton goes forward, and Kingdon won't be attacking from that right-hand side. The more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards that being what we do as standard, certainly against better opposition, because we've already seen ourselves be a little bit vulnerable once in that position today. With Clayton being as attacking as he is, we kind of want to give him free rein to go where he wants. That being said, I think we're taking him off here. Idahen can come on and play at left back, and we'll just make him a normal fullback, a no-nonsense fullback. There you go. We're trying. In fact, this is the opportunity to come and do this, isn't it? We actually have a direct counter-attacking system that we've been training for over a year. So let's just pull everybody back and protect our 1-goal lead for the final 10 minutes or so. Goes against everything I stand for, but it's not often that I'm trying to stay in a league. So sometimes when you're trying to stay in a league, you have to go a little bit more defensive. If this backfires, you won't see me do it again. You won't see me do it again all year. We were doing it for 1 minute and it went wrong. Right, you can be a normal fullback, Idahen. Hideous, absolutely hideous. This is why we don't try and defend leads. Why don't I just learn that lesson? That's it, learnt for FM24 now. When you're wondering 3 saves down the line when we're in a Champions League semi-final why I refuse to defend a 1-goal lead against better opposition, reference this, bookmark this. That is why, because every time I ever try it, that happens. We've thrown away 2 points there, and I am not amused because we can't really afford to do that this year. Right, no changes in for the Wealdstone game. Antwi still hasn't had an opportunity to play any football, so I mean, I guess logically we put him on the bench, don't we? So we can get him some match fitness that way. So let's do that. The only change to the squad is Akwe has gone out on loan for the season. So that's freed up £200 of wage budget that we didn't have before. We are still over budget though. So we're going to have to start looking at the likes of Finn. I don't really want Paul or Kingdon to go anywhere, but Kyle Finn, if he's not going to be in the team. Oh, so many of our boys from last year. Step up is too big. Right, let's just get the team submitted. Let's win a match, and then I can be a little bit more confident in some of my decisions, because if we start poorly, the fans are going to be calling for the likes of Finn to be back in the team, and all we need is one injury to a striker, and a Camrich is going to have to go up front anyway, and Finn's going to be straight back in the team. So we can't really thin the squad out too far. Right, we must win here. How did Wealdstone get on the first day? Wealdstone drew just like we did. They're also, I mean, they are one of the favourites for relegation, just like Eastbourne were. And we're supposedly going to finish mid-table, even though the board are just asking me to survive. So ideally, we pick up the win here today, because like I said at the start, if we can't beat these teams, it's a problem. Brook, from range, shoots from the edge of the area and scores. He is going to be a key man for us this year. He is head and shoulders above everyone else we've got available to us in central midfield. And hopefully, as well as protecting the back four, he's going to weigh in with things like that from time to time. They've just left him unmarked, and it's a lovely finish from Brook. But remember, we started well in the last match. We need to not then throw the game away with tactical shenanigans. I've learned my lesson. One thing I have done is I've switched Sears to be the inverted fullback. The more I think about it, the more I think. I mean, it's what we did for most of last year with Cullinane Liebird. I think having a 3 when we've got possession makes more sense than having the 2 wing backs both bombing on. I don't think we need to do that. And it just leaves these 5 effectively to take care of defending and the other 5 to take care of attacking. So that's kind of the plan. Sears throws it forward to Berry, who finds Clayton in a huge amount of space. He's come infield there. That's not where you're supposed to be. Get wide. There he goes. He's gone wide. He plays it across to Berry, and it's another assist for Clayton, and it's another goal for Berry. Berry is starting well. He looks like an upgrade on Shakuna, certainly the Shakuna we had for the second half of last season, and that's got to be a good thing, because first half of last season, Shakuna was brilliant. So if we've got a better player than that, lovely, lovely, lovely. It's a tidy finish from Berry as well. 2-0. Don't balls it up from here, boys. That's the important thing. 2-0 up at half-time. Just keep doing what you're doing. We're not going to... I promise not to do any defensive change shenanigans. Just win the match. We have got a young lone striker, Max Leeson, on the bench, I'm interested in having a look at some point. Connor Evans has just got his first goal of the season again, so that means it's disallowed. That's that Football Manager glitch, isn't it? It's showing him as scoring, but shows his previous goal tally, because it knew before we knew that the goal was being disallowed. A little bit unfortunate, but Evans certainly looks sharp, which is good. But what I was saying is I think I'll bring Leeson on anyway for the last 20 minutes just to have a look at him. If we're still in control of the game. Obviously, if Wealdstone get a goal back, we might not look at young players. Berry, back to Brook. Brook has space. I mean, that's a risky pass to Deeney, but he's got away with it. And Ellis Deeney, I mean, this is a strange story, the story of Ellis Deeney, because we signed him under duress through dressing room pressure. Everyone in that dressing room who pressured me to sign him has now left the club. I didn't really want to use him, but we've not been able to find anybody better, at least not who's fit. Obviously, we've got Antwi, and he's actually playing quite well. Ellis Deeney might establish himself here, which is mad, because he shouldn't. Right, we are going to bring on Max Leeson. Clayton is tiring, so we can bring on Idehen there. The only problem is, because we don't have another bombing on left back, we don't really have anyone else who can do that role. I guess Brown is probably better suited to it than Idehen, maybe. You know what? Idehen should be able to do it. We're going to bring Idehen on, and he's going to play there. Playing him as a wing back on attack isn't ideal, but at 3-0 up, what better time for him to be learning? He is training to play as a wing back. And now Leahy's injured. So we're going to have to bring on Shakuna, which means no game time for Antwi, which is not ideal. But Berry can go out onto that left-hand side again. Shakuna back in behind Leeson now. So I'm interested to see how both of those boys get on as really first reserves in the attack. And I mean, if we can grab a fourth, that'd be super duper. This has been a little bit more comfortable. This is how it was supposed to be. That being said, Weldstone are trying to get back into the game here. Rose actually doing what we're paying him to do this time. He was a little bit iffy in the for the first goal in the previous match, but that was good goalkeeping. Plucks it out the sky, and Leeson drops a shoulder, turns really nicely and scores. Well, we might have another striker on our hands. Max Leeson. That was lovely from him. It's the assist from Rose in goal. We've gone, oh, there we go with that again. Love that. We could do with a patch Football Manager, so that stops happening because even zooming doesn't fix it. So I don't know what's causing it. But that's good stuff. Very good stuff from Leeson. 4-0 now. This is more like it. I guess in the grand scheme of things, if you offer me 4 points from these first two games, we probably take them. I feel a little bit hard done by that we didn't get all 6. But, oh, good, it's still happening. Thanks, Football Manager. I should probably check. Is that... I assume that's happening in the OBS capture as well, and it's not just my monitor failing. Imagine if it's just my monitor broken, and I've been saying that for days, and you lot don't know what I'm talking about. I should probably check that when I'm editing this video, but... let me know if you can see what's happening too. I know some of you are going to mess with me now, and I'm still not going to know the truth. I have to go and actually have a look, don't I? But ball is cleared. We're going to deal with this comfortably through Kakuri and then Sears. I mean, he's sold Deeney a little bit short there, but Deeney's done very, very well. Antwi's going to be looking on, wondering what he's going to have to do to get into this team, because Deeney and Brooke looking very solid as a partnership in front of our back four, which is very nice to see, because it's the area of the team I was probably most worried about. And it looks like almost by accident, we've solved the problem. Brooke was deliberate. Deeney, very much not so. But that is 4 points from the first 2 matches. We've got an undefeated start to the season. We've beaten the teams around us. Or one of the teams around us. That is all good stuff. So we'll get some more games under our belt. I still don't think we have transfer window at this level. I'm just checking, but I don't think we do. So we don't need to work around a transfer deadline as such. So we'll just come back. We'll do 5 or 6 games and come back sometime in September, and you can see how we're getting on. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.